Today we're going to be looking at scarcity leads. So this is another type of lead in addition to all the other types of leads that I already presented, the offer lead, the promise lead, the problem solution lead. And this one's actually not in Michael Masterson's Great Leads book. It's a newer type of, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a newer type of lead because it has existed throughout time, but specifically covering it as a specific lead type. The shout out for this goes out to Derek Johansson and his Copy Hour course, which I'm also following, by the way. And this promotion was actually sent by him. But I'm gonna break it down to see, what makes this lead type so effective, when you can use it, and also we're gonna go through the promotion itself because it's not so long. It's for warmer audiences, this specific one. And that's why you don't need so much copy in order to sell the subscription product. Normally you would need a lot of copy to sell subscription products, but not necessarily for warmer audiences. Now, before I jump into the analysis itself, make sure to leave a like. Make sure to like the video because that definitely helps out a lot with the algorithm and with getting the video to more people who might be interested in it. And also leave a comment below because I'm always curious what you guys think about these proven sales letters, about my breakdown, what was your number one takeaway from this video, and I respond to every single comment, and I just love engaging with my audience in this regard. So let's jump into the promotion itself. So as I said, this is a scarcity lead, so that means that it immediately implies something that will be taken away from you. So it's trying to sell something, but it's something that you don't get unlimited quantities of, for example, or you don't have unlimited time to claim this promotion. So this can either work well with some sorts of cold audiences who just really want something, or who just can't resist a good deal, actually. But it usually works best with warmer audiences, like for some people who have been nurtured by email campaigns, for example. They know the brand somewhat, and then, whenever some urgency or scarcity comes along, naturally, they're more inclined to buy. However, and this is very important, this urgency and scarcity really needs to be on point, really needs to be logical and not scammy at all, okay? So it has to make sense why it's so important for people to take this offer. And we're gonna see that Gary Bencivenga's reason why copy is so prevalent in this promotion because it just explains everything in a logical way. And the best type of scarcity leads work for e-commerce products or for like coaching services, for example, something that you have naturally a limited stock of. Either you have limited time to take on clients or you have a limited stock. For info products, not necessarily, but in this case, I think it lends itself as a great lead type because we're talking about David Gardner, who's an expert in this niche, and it presupposes that the audience knows him. That's why I said it's a warm audience. But it presents David's stock picks, new stock picks, as the scarcity and urgency in itself. Because if you don't join now, then you're gonna miss his predictions, and the stock market is moving so fast all the time. Just think of the recent GameStop fiasco that's happening right now as I'm making this video. So yeah, that's why, if you don't join now, you're gonna miss this. And yes, maybe you can join 1 month from now, but then you're not gonna have access to that specific prediction, and then you might have missed the big opportunity. So yeah, the other one is that, let's jump into the headline itself. So it's very simple, actually. It says, not to alarm you, but you're about to miss an important event. And I can already see 3 specific things going on in this very short headline. First of all, it's a pattern interrupt. It's like, what? Why should I be alarmed? Like, what's happening? You're about to, this is future pacing, and miss an important event. Miss is the urgency part, and important event kind of presupposes that, am I missing something? Like, what is this whole thing about? And then very smartly from a design standpoint, we have a little arrow that points down and immediately starts the sales message itself. So it says, you see, David Gardner is about to release his new stock pick. Again, very short, but several things going on at the same time. First of all, we have NLP language, neuro linguistic programming, in like UC. Then David Gardner, he's the guru in this niche, probably the person who the subscribers subscribe to get his free tips or something. But again, this heavily presupposes that the audience knows who he is. I don't know who he is, even though I'm kind of well versed in the investment niche for my investments, not like writing for the investment niche. But yeah, I haven't heard about him, but the audience has, and they naturally trust him if they're on this list. And then we have a unique mechanism in a sense by saying that his new stock pick. So what can this be? There's mystery to it, but there's also a unique mechanism to it that only he can do. And then we have stuff like, and that's a big deal. I'll just read it to you, okay? So it says, you see, David Gardner is about to release his new stock pick, and it's a big deal because since 2003, the average stock price of the average stock pick in Stock Advisor is up 337%. That's more than doubling the performance of the S&P 500. Just take a look at this chart to see what this means in dollars and cents. So I like it. I really respect the copywriter who wrote this because in just such a short text amount, he did so many things. He lays the groundwork for believability, and there's so many proof elements. I even counted them for you, and you can see in just like this little blue thing, we have like 5 different proof elements immediately, because at this point we know that the target audience is interested in some benefits, but if we give an urgency to them or a scarcity, then we have to back it up with proof as well, and this immediately implies both proof and benefits. So that's one of the good. I think this is one of the benefits of this niche, the financial niche, is that whenever you show proof like this graph, it implies the benefits as well, which is pretty powerful. So, and that's a big deal. This adds dramatic effect because since 2003, this is proof 1. So, like the Stock Advisor, the newsletter that we're trying to sell here, is up 337%. That's proof 1. And then very smartly, the writer goes on to dimensionalize this with proof 2 by saying, that's more than doubling the S&P 500. Because, in itself, 337% doesn't mean much, but most people have heard about the S&P 500. They know that it's gone up in value, especially in the last few decades. And by doubling that, that they can grasp. It's more believable. We have another dimensionalized element here by saying, in dollars and cents, this is this much. And then we have a nice little graph here. Always, whenever you write copy for the financial market, you need to have tons of graphs. And then we have proof 4 by saying to state the obvious. So again, this kind of dimensionalizes things, but also proves that somewhat implicit proof, because it's like, hey dummy, you don't know this, it obviously, put 1 and 1 together. Then we have a benefit, more than double the stock market. That's what people actually want. And then we have proof 5 plus reason why by saying, and that's exactly why people are so excited the new pick is about to be released. So this implies that, there's demand for this, and there's also there's a reason why, hey, this is why people are excited. But then we follow up with immediate scarcity, and this just goes back to the scarcity type of this lead as well by saying, this is only open for a select few people, and then dimensionalize. There's so much dimensionalization going on in this relatively short sales message, actually. I really love it, and you should definitely take this away from this video, that whenever you sell something, especially when it's something more ethereal, so you're not selling toilet paper or something, you need to dimensionalize it, what this means, what that how this translates to the target audience's life situation or something, or what the product actually means for them day to day. So what this means is that, like, what's the reason behind why this is available only to a few select people? Well, the reason behind it is because, I can only send my exclusive stock picks to select few customers and only ahead of time. So if you don't join now, then that's it. I cannot really do anything for you. But at this point, we're saying it's not too late. You still have a chance to get the benefits here, to get everything. And then we have like an if-then type of thing. So if you have any interest in getting these new picks, please clear your office of all distractions and give this your full attention, because time is running out and you might not get a second chance. So very strong emergency type of urgency element here. Now, if you're like most people, again, this implies some proof. You want to make money, work for you. That's what people want as a benefit. But then, very smartly again, the writer dimensionalizes things, and he goes on and on about what this really means, and he paints the picture, paints the dream of what people want. They want to give their family financial security and freedom, and they want to improve their quality of life, and they want to have better vacations, maybe buy a sailboat, or simply pay the tuition for their kids or grandkids, just like that. So that's what dimensionalization means, is that yes, everybody wants to make more money, but like, what does that mean? And that's what it means in real life terms. And because the people are reading this, they're feeling like, yes, this makes sense. I want to get all those things. And there's tons of reason why here, like why it pays to get in early. Because at this point, some people might be thinking, okay, so I agree with all those benefits, but like, why should I act now? When can't I postpone this 2 months? Well, it's because, and this is like a proof element and preemptive objection handling element, 2 in 1, because the writer goes on to present a few success stories of a few stock picks that David recommended. So if you had joined in this time, and you'd taken David's recommendations, then you'd be up 5,974% today. Or if you joined in 2004, you'd be up this. Or if you had invested just $1,000 in each of these stocks, way back, then that would be worth almost $320,000 today. Like, this is very strong proof. Obviously, if you study and learn about the psychology of investing, you quickly realize that, nobody, and I mean nobody, not even Warren Buffett, can really predict what's going to happen. Everything is just a trial and error type of thing, and there's tons of cherry picking going on, even here. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy a service like this. It's cheap. It's like $50 a year, so why not? And you can spend that money on way worse things. And true, like, even if you get just one recommendation, it will pay it off easily. But don't be fooled that somebody's gonna give you the real insider information, because nobody knows that, not even the best like hedge funds. Nobody. And this is the big fallacy of investing, is that people are trying to beat the market, but nobody can beat the market on the long run. Sure, they can cherry pick some winning stocks that they chosen, but I guarantee you that for each of these, there are 10 or 50 stocks that he recommended that underperformed the market. But it's fine. Again, like, this is how it works. It's not trying to like bash people over the head with like, hey, you gotta buy this because otherwise you're gonna die poor or something. But obviously, it gives a few little nice proof elements in this sense. Just know that nobody can give you the magic pill. It doesn't exist. And I also like, from a design perspective, how this is green, color of money, and also it's really like, people, if they're skimming, they immediately like notice this. Then we have like some motivation type of text, and then more things that explain why they should join now. And then we have a call to action here, like, join today for $49 per year. And this seems like a low price, and it is, but there's a caveat here, and the caveat is that this only applies if they subscribe for 3 years. If they subscribe for only 1 year, it's $99 a year. So this is a little bit, I wouldn't say it's unethical because it's not, but like it's presenting like the offer from a better perspective than it actually is. It could be, but it's not necessarily this. It's like if you go to buy cars and they say, you know, it starts from, I don't know what, $20,000, but then you have nothing in it. Okay, so you have to add extras, and then it's going to be $28,000 very soon. So then we have a guarantee, a very long guarantee actually, but I think it's needed because, again, a lot of people realize that, you know, they've been burned so many times with predictions before, and they're very skeptical. This audience, this so-called Grandpa Rick audience in Agora's terms, they're very, very skeptical. They've been duped thousands of times before, or hundreds of times, but they still believe that there is a secret out there that they don't know yet, and maybe this is the one. And that's why you need unique mechanisms as well, because maybe this is the one key missing piece that I haven't been able to crack yet. And the same is true for health offers. Like the weight loss niche is so saturated with offers, but new offers always come up with a new unique mechanism, a new angle. Like, you know, scientists recently discovered this fat burning switch in your cells, in your mitochondria or something, that nobody knew about so far, and then if you do this, then it's gonna trigger your fat burning response or something like that. Obviously it's not so easy in real life, but that's what they always try to do. So yeah, we have the long guarantee, and then it's like, so what does it cost? And this is exactly like how our customer avatar would say it. So this is like just giving it to them in their own words. So we have a price anchor. Normally this would cost $200, but you can get it for way less than that. You can get it for 75% less. So we have a price anchor. We have like a discount type of thing here, and we have dimensionalizing the price itself, trivializing it by saying, you know, this is a bargain by itself. And then we have some powerful offer language. This is relatively universal in most cases. It's like, you know, it's $200 normally, but David wants to make it easier for you to join today. So they'd given me a green light to offer you an even better deal, one that allows you to lock in our absolute lowest price. So it makes sense. And this is like, if you look at these types of promotions, when they get to the offer, everything is going to have some similar type of language. It just works. So we have some cool reframes. Again, dimensionalizing. This is the name of the game here. It's like, you know, you can buy this for less than a nice steak dinner, for example, and it's only like 16 cents a day. So like, you waste so many, like 16 cents a day. Like, could you imagine like saving that each day? Of course you do. Dimensionalize everywhere. If you read this, I really encourage you to read this and to hand copy it, because it's not long at all, but you're gonna see some some super effective copy with this one. I wouldn't say this would work with cold traffic with you. Don't try to mimic this for like a Facebook ad or something, but for so-called back-end offers, this is really good. So we have some preemptive objection handling there. What people would normally ask about this, like the number one is that what's included, and then we have a high-level overview of what they actually get, and boom, call to action button again. Then some testimonials to also like keep up the balance between promise and proof. It's very important that you keep up the balance between promise and proof. Then we have another objection, like I want to invest but I don't want to lose money. So again, something that our target audience would say in their own words. And then, you know, we have a nice explanation with tactical empathy. And I encourage you to read Chris Voss's book called Never Split the Difference. He was an FBI negotiator, and he negotiated a lot with terrorists. And he figured out that, you know, they're very irrational, especially in tense situations. And if you try to be like a smartass, or you try to be aggressive, it usually doesn't work well. You have to give them so-called tactical empathy and honesty, and they're gonna value it more, and you're gonna have more trust from them. Actually, you're gonna de-escalate the situation way earlier, and way easier. So This is exactly what the writer does here. Tactical empathy by saying, yes, I totally understand your fear. And you know what? Investing is risky. It can happen. But, we're going to do everything in our power to give you the best of the best. Then we have another call to action with proof. So again, notice, promise proof all the time. Another testimonial, and then more reason why copy, more trivializing the process of the whole thing, and more future pasting, like what happens after you buy. After you buy, it only takes like 3 minutes. And nowadays I would say that this would be like 1 minute or 2 minutes or something to make it seem as if it's even easier. And then we have like the last sentence, like I look forward to seeing you inside. It's future pacing as a new member. And then a funny little sign off by saying "fool on," okay? And then I'd say the editor or something for this newsletter. And then it's not over yet. We still have this little arrow thing with the green. You notice that for the guarantee it was this gray because I don't know, somehow it symbolizes trust, but the green symbolizes greed. So green is greed. And then this part just basically showcases like what can happen, what's gonna happen. Like you are only one step away from joining the world's best investment community and enjoying these benefits and more. So again, this is like a benefit-centric product description, very high level. Then we have a reminder for the guarantee, and then very smartly we have three-tiered pricing. So this boosts average order value, which is very important because later on, if you want to sell to colder audiences and you have like a cost per acquisition, which is something, if you can raise your average order value, you can spend more to acquire a customer. And it's not linear. Like if you can spend just 20% more than your competition to acquire the customer, then the algorithm is going to prioritize you and you're going to get like 80% of all the people instead of them, okay? Even if you just spend 20% more. So that's why it's so super important to boost your AOV with upsells and with back-end stuff and everything, because then you have more money to acquire the customer. And whoever can spend most to acquire a customer and still be profitable wins, because the algorithms are going to just funnel all the traffic to them. And that's how you actually scale. That's one of the best ways to scale. So we have three different tiers. We have the normal one. We have like the one that this talked about, and notice how this is pre-selected. So it presupposes that people are going to choose this, and then this saves them 75%. This is just there. I think nobody's going to take this. This is just there to serve as like an inferior option, but this and this is gonna be, I think, the main things here. And then we have the order from right here on the page. Very like it's non-friction at all. So it's like you can immediately like put in your stuff, put in your name and details, and that's it. You can. It's kind of like an impulse purchase at this point. It's not high priced at all, and I think probably the writers know this. They know that they're a warm audience, so it's no reason to like spend 50 pages convincing them of the same thing. If you were to sell the same thing, by the way, to on a front end to a cold audience with a Facebook ad, you would need a 50-page sales letter, and there are plenty of examples of like 1 hour long VSLs in which they do the same thing. They sell the same thing, but they need to warm up people much more. They have to build much more trust compared to this. So yeah, and then submit my order, and then we have some little legal info plus customer support information and stuff like that. So yeah, I really encourage you to hand copy this. It's not long at all. You can easily do it in less than half an hour, probably even less, because it's very solid copy. It's short, but it's punchy, very solid copy. So also don't forget about the this type of lead, okay? The scarcity lead, and how you can best use it for your business. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions regarding this. Like the video if you enjoyed it, share it with others, and I'd really appreciate it if you left one comment under the video with your number one takeaway. I really want to know, because I'm enjoying making these. Hopefully you're enjoying watching them. but I also like engaging with my audience as well. So thanks again. See you in the next one.